and rags and all that. And then there's good morning. So I'm gonna do another full day of eating just to give you some meal ideas in case you're in a rut or just want some quick, healthy-ish ideas. So here I have 2 whole eggs. First I sauteed a little bit of diced tomato, and I did 2 whole eggs, and I try not to overcook them because then they get kind of rubbery and dry, and they can actually cause issues later in the day for some people, like 6 hours later. With like bloating and stuff. And then I have 2 gluten-free char toasts. This one has a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil and salt and nutritional yeast. I also did salt and nutritional yeast here. And then here's crunchy peanut butter and sugar-free strawberry jam. And then I just did the rest of this for cold coffee, and I did silk caramel creamer. It's the dairy-free or lactose-free one. It's kind of pricey, but it's a big one and it lasts a long time. It could last longer, but it's fine. And then that's a little sparkling water. Then I have this little cup out for later. I'm gonna do a hot coffee later on. So the cats are acting up and my husband's telling them to settle. But that's my brekkie, and I will show you another meal idea after this for lunch. Okay, so I have this leftover cooked Mexican style ground turkey. It's the Jenny O. I've got some cannellini beans, up to 1/3 of a cup, some corn. I think that's all. Yeah, and then some green leaf lettuce that I shredded. I'm actually gonna use kitchen shears to make it even smaller because I wanna eat this with a spoon. Then I have some medium picante, nutritional yeast, and love this chipotle Tabasco. And then I have half of an avocado. So I'm gonna make a burrito bowl or taco salad, whatever you wanna call it. And I don't really feel like cutting up a bell pepper, so I'm not going to, but this will be my lunch. I'll show you what it looks like when I get it all put together. Okay, there we go. So I did have rice in that mixture, I forgot. There was some jasmine rice mixed in there. So that's it with all the sauces, the nutritional yeast, and the avocado. So I'm gonna just mix it all up together in a big old mess. And that is my big, healthy, yummy, filling lunch. And I will show you what I eat after this. Okay, so I've sliced up some little yellow potatoes. I had 2 bell peppers, and I just chopped up like half of one and put it in here. That is, I'm not sure why that's that color, but that's ground chicken. And some of the bell peppers, that is really odd that it turned that color. Maybe the heat's too high. But I'm gonna do cayenne, salt, pepper, and paprika and garlic powder, and I'll show you what it looks like whenever I get it put together. Okay, I had to sneeze. So I have the oven preheating to bake 400-ish degrees. I sprayed this, and I'm just gonna layer potatoes and the meat that's cooking with the bell pepper. And I'll add a little more salt and paprika to the potatoes because they're very plain. But I'm just gonna layer it, and then I will add a little bit of cheese on top the last 5 minutes before it's done cooking. I think I'm gonna just start with cooking it for about like 15 minutes because I just want the potatoes to get all the way cooked. They're pretty thin, so maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'll have to stick a fork and see if they're done. And I will show you what the little casserole looks like once the meat is done and everything's layered up. Okay, layer 1. And then I'm gonna add the meat and just repeat, and I will show you what that looks like. Okay, actually that's layer 1 because I had to put the meat on, obviously. And then I'm gonna add the little potatoes like so. I'm just trying to do them in an even layer. It doesn't really have to be perfect. I've already put salt on here. And I did paprika on the other layer, so you get the idea. It's just a way to get some meat and potatoes and veg in you. And you could add onions. I cannot have onions, they hurt my stomach. I can have the green part of the green onions, which would be great, but I did not have any, so it's fine. I did the garlic powder. So you get the idea. Just kind of layering it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm telling that to myself because it's gonna all end up being mushed together anyways. And then I just add, actually I wanna make sure I get all of these potatoes in here. I don't wanna waste them. And some of them can be on the sides. It's hard to do this with one hand. I need to get my tripod out. I keep saying that and I never do it, but one of these days I will. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, and then the other half of the meat, which I just did the bell pepper because I like the crunch and the flavor, and it's low FODMAP. And it's getting cooler here in the south at night, which cooler to me is like 40s and below. So I'm gonna finish this up, stick it in the oven for 20 minutes, and then I will, well, I'm gonna try 15 minutes, and then I'll cover it with the cheese and then do another 5 minutes. And I will show you the finished product whenever it comes out of the oven. Okay, so I did cheese on it, and after just 3 minutes, it was already melting. So I am covering this because there's a fly, but also because the potatoes aren't quite as cooked as I would like. So I am doing that. They were ultra thin slices, so yeah, that makes a difference. But I'm also lighting a candle because it is very strong smelling in here. But that is Din Din.